Michael.
Members of the media, we're joined now by Jalen Bridges. Questions for Jalen. John Antoni.
Hey, Jalen, what'd you do during your a couple of days the Hugs gave you off? Did you just kind of just walk away from basketball a little bit, try to recharge your batteries a little bit?
Yeah, because I'd say I'm the type of person, I get in my own head a lot. So that game on whatever day it was, I think Saturday against Oklahoma State, I didn't play well. I was in my head. So I just I shot after the game, and then I shot on yesterday, like after study hall. And that's really it. Just trying to refresh my mind, stay in a positive mindset, especially into this deep stretch of the season.
Real quick, Jalen, was it helpful to get away a little bit?
For sure, yeah. Because I'd say, like, for me, especially, like, I get super down on myself. I miss shots. And then even if I do go in and work, I'm just so focused on the last game, so focused on what I did wrong, that I really don't get anything out of it. So I think it was important for me to take, like, an extra day off and just refresh myself and be ready to go today for practice.
Greg Hunter.
So Jalen, following up with that, then do you think you've been able to put the last game behind you at this point?
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, we're gonna end up playing them again on Thursday, but like last game's done with. We can't change anything about it. We just gotta focus on getting better today in practice, getting better tomorrow, and coming out like a different team on Thursday.
And then to follow another question, I guess the last postseason game you would have played would have been the Charleston Civic Center. So you haven't played in college, but is postseason different?
There's always that little added pressure, but at the same time, everyone plays harder because you never know when it's going to be your last game. So I'd say it's just a lot more intense on every level.
Justin Jackson.
Hey, Jalen, congratulations on making the all-freshman team. What was that like for you?
Honestly, I was kind of shocked because I'm kind of late to all this. Like I went from not really being in the rotation to being a starter. And then just to see my name on that list with those other guys, it's just truly a blessing.
And then, maybe you could make it again next year, right? I mean, that's
yeah.
I guess. Hey, a more serious question here. You guys are obviously getting ready to go to Kansas City. I mean, you've lived life through this pandemic and made a lot of sacrifices to get to this point. Obviously now the stakes are much higher. Life is certainly going to be different. I think they're going to try to create like a bubble kind of atmosphere there. I mean, have you guys kind of talked about, I'm guessing you won't be allowed to, go see family members and, you guys won't be going out to restaurants. I mean, it's going to be, the longer you stay in the tournament, the more sacrifices. Have you guys kind of talked about, what that's going to be like for you guys at all?
I mean, we're a tight group. So outside of 1 through 14, however many players we have, we can sacrifice whatever and we'll still be good. But it's gonna definitely be a different like environment because I've personally never been in a bubble before, and I don't know how it's gonna look. I don't know if we're doing it in Kansas City, but at least we're gonna be not allowed to even leave the hotel in Indianapolis. So it's definitely gonna be different, but I think we'll be okay because we've been dealing with this COVID stuff for the past year now. So I think we're kind of used to it.
Is it worth it in the long run? I mean, to be locked up in a hotel and maybe not just a hotel, but a hotel room for hours upon hours just to play a basketball game?
I mean, if you want to win, if you want to win at the highest level and get to that next level, there's really nothing that comes along with this that isn't worth it. Like every experience, you can learn something from it. Win or lose, you can learn something. And if you really want to do something with basketball, then I really think that it's all worth it.
Thank you, Jalen. Appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you.
Mike Tazaza.
Hey, Jalen, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I have two questions for you, if you don't mind. One is it's just kind of maybe like a human nature thing, but you guys are at the end of a long season that's actually a little bit longer than it was supposed to be. And I imagine the regular season gets old and postseason is there and you just want to get into it and try something new and exciting and also different that you didn't have last year. Can that explain anything about how maybe Saturday wasn't as sharp or as energetic as it could have been for you guys?
I would say that we were just kind of content. Like we thought that we would just be able to walk in and beat them because they didn't have Cunningham or Likely. And I feel like that's really the reason we just came out flat. There's really nothing that can justify that or explain that. We just got to be better on Thursday.
Okay. And then secondly, not a ton of postseason experience on your roster. There are a few guys and like for a player like you in a similar position, Emmett has to be a valuable resource too. What do you and what do your teammates look to from someone like him?
I mean, him, Jordan, and DC, and Gabe too, because he's played in conference tournaments. He's played in the NCAA tournament. We just really have to look to them. Like they're the ones that have been here, done that, and we're just new to the party. So it's going to be important that those guys keep a positive mindset no matter what's going on, and we just stay together. That's all we try to do is say, just stick together no matter what, and we'll be successful.
Back to John and Tony.
Okay, Jalen, I'm not sure you can answer this, but I'll ask it. You guys are 8-5 at home, and you're 10-3 away from the Coliseum. Why have you played so much better away from the Coliseum this year?
I don't even know, honestly. Like, I feel like when you go to somebody else's place, you always want to spoil that home victory that they should have because at home you're supposed to win. That's just how it is. But when you're on the road, you just want to take that from that other team. And then at home, it's like sometimes the home team just comes out flat. They're not ready to play. And then the team that comes in, they just have way more energy. And whatever happens, happens. And you saw that on Saturday.
Do you think you have a little more focus when you're on the road and you're together and you're away from people?
I'd say to a point, yeah, because you're really, other than your phone, you're really cut off from your normal world. Like we're more comfortable in Morgantown, obviously, and out in, let's just say Lubbock, somewhere like Lubbock. We don't really have the same connections that we have. We're not as comfortable. We're always doing something. We're always all together, even though we're together a lot here, but we're literally together 24/7 at the hotels. So I don't know if that has anything to do to it, but if it has anything to do with it, those are the reasons right there.
Gotcha. Thanks.
No
Final
problem.
question for Jalen comes from Justin Jackson.
Hey, Jay, I was asking Deuce about this. Obviously, you guys have guarded a lot of good offensive players throughout the course of the year. But on Thursday, obviously with Cade Cunningham, he's going to be like the number 1 or number 2 pick in the draft. So, and obviously you guys played against them earlier in the year. But when you're playing somebody at that level or with that stature, I guess, does that add anything more to it from a personal standpoint to say, hey, I want to kind of see how I match up against somebody like that, as opposed to just, other good college players?
Yeah, I would say to a point for sure, because especially his position, he's projected top 5, top 3 in the NBA draft, and every kid at this level wants to be in that position. So you're obviously going to use this game to compare yourself where you're at with him. But every single person at D1 basketball they're talented. So, I mean, every single game is somebody that you just have to be ready to play. And he's just another one of those guys. He just happens to be considered a top 5 consensus NBA draft pick next year.
Okay, Jalen, thank you for your time.
No problem. Thank you.